Overnight, fresh eyebrow-raising statements from the president's top attorney, Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah, Giuliani has been making a lot of headlines with a series of public appearances and was even at one point publicly contradicted by the president. Overnight, Giuliani admitted he is still learning the facts of this case. George Stephanopoulos is standing by with analysis, but we're going to start with ABC's White House correspondent, Tara Palmieri, who was at the White House for us this morning. Tara, good morning.
Good morning, Dan and Paula. That's right. Giuliani was back on TV doing damage control after his media blitz last week, but he offered very little to clear up the facts about what the president knew about the Stormy Daniels payment and when. He says he's still learning the facts. Overnight, the president's lawyer Rudy Giuliani on Fox News attempting to clean up statements he made last week.
The facts I'm still learning.
This after he revealed that the president repaid his other lawyer, Michael Cohen, for a hush agreement signed by adult film actress Stormy Daniels. Giuliani offering no new information on when and what the president knew about the payments, but admitting
this is, 1.2 million documents. I've been in the case for 2 weeks, virtually one day in comparison to other people. So I'm not an expert on the facts yet. I'm getting there.
Giuliani's revelation contradicted what the president and the White House have said all along about that $130,000 payout to Daniels, that Trump had no knowledge of it.
Did you know about the $130,000 payment to Stormy Daniels?
Giuliani still not clarifying the timeline, but doubling down.
The president of the United States did not in any way violate the campaign finance law.
The hard-charging former prosecutor was brought on to Trump's legal team to turn up the heat on special counsel Robert Mueller. His team wants a sit-down interview with Trump as part of their investigation into obstruction of justice and possible collusion between the Trump campaign and Russia.
I would love to speak. I would love to go. Nothing I want to do more.
But Giuliani making the sit-down seem more of a challenge.
When you look at the questions they propound, what do you think? What do you feel? It's like, come on in and commit perjury.
Even hinting on Fox News that he thinks the case will end up in the Supreme Court, and the Stormy Daniels case still plaguing the president. Overnight, Daniels made a surprise appearance on Saturday Night Live to taunt the president.
I know you don't believe in climate change, but a storm's a-coming, baby.
Just tell me, what do you need for this to all go away?
A resignation?
Giuliani, who was on the short list for Secretary of State, is back wading into foreign policy. Here he is on stage pretending to rip up the Iran nuclear deal, saying that's what the president will likely do. He even added that the president is committed to regime change. Dan, Paula?
Likely to be seen as provocative. Tara, thank you very much. Tara Palmieri weighing in from the White House this morning. As promised, let's bring in ABC News chief anchor George Stephanopoulos, who's going to be hosting this week a little later this morning.
Guys.
Good
morning,
sir.
George.
So let's start with Rudy Giuliani. You have an exclusive Sunday morning interview with him. In terms of his recent public statements about the Stormy Daniels issue, do you discern a strategy here?
Well, the only thing I can think is, as Tara pointed out in her piece, the White House had consistently denied this. We saw President Trump there on Air Force One saying he didn't know about the payments. They must have come across evidence that, in fact, the president did make these payments. Otherwise, they wouldn't have wanted to get it out. I think that was the strategy behind the initial revelation from Rudy Giuliani on Fox News on Wednesday night. But as the president has said, and as now Rudy has said himself, he didn't have all of his facts straight. And there still are a lot of facts to nail down right now about why the payment was made, when it was made, what the president knew about it, when he knew about it. And the president also has some vulnerability on those campaign finance laws. Now, the White House is saying, and Giuliani saying it had nothing to do with the campaign. Michael Avenatti, the lawyer for Stormy Daniels, says there's a lot of evidence that, in fact, it was about the campaign.
Still so many questions that need to be answered. So Giuliani said in the piece that this could go all the way to the Supreme Court, but overnight he made it seem unlikely that the president's going to sit down with Mueller. But can't Mueller just subpoena him?
Well, that's the whole question. Will Mueller subpoena him? If he subpoenas him, must President Trump comply? And that's the case that could go to the Supreme Court if the president refuses to comply with a subpoena from Robert Mueller. Now, other presidents have been subpoenaed. We know that Richard Nixon was subpoenaed over the tapes, and he was required to, and compelled to turn those tapes over by the courts back in 1973. Bill Clinton appeared before the grand jury during the Ken Starr investigation. So if indeed Mueller follows through with the subpoena, if President Trump refuses to comply with that, this is likely to go all the way to the Supreme Court.
Interesting. Fascinating.
The president was out on the stump in Ohio and said that he said again that he was willing to shut down the government if he doesn't get his wall. Do you think this is red meat he's throwing to his supporters, or do you think this is a real strategy he can or will pursue?
Well, he certainly can if he wants to. I can only imagine what Mitch McConnell, Paul Ryan, House and Senate Republicans are thinking if this happens when it would be sometime in September,
Right
6 or 8 weeks before the midterms, the government shuts down over this. I don't even think they want to contemplate that. I don't think this will happen. I don't think the president will follow through. But as you point out, he's made these threats before, and he seems like he means it now.
Just 6 months until the midterms. George, thank you. We got a big show coming up, so we're going to let you go.
Thank you, guys.
As a reminder, you can see his exclusive interview with Rudy Giuliani coming up on This Week.
Plus, Stormy Daniels' attorney, Michael Avenatti, will be responding live. That's coming up on This Week right here on ABC.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.